New details tonight in an early morning shooting in Lexington that left a man fighting for his life.
Thousands attended a prayer service at the Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville today to honor the late Kentucky great Muhammad Ali.
And an endorsement from the White House for the presumptive Democratic nominee. We have the latest from the campaign trail.
This is WKYT News at 5.
We are learning some new details this afternoon about an early morning shooting that has left a man fighting for his life.
A 27-year-old was shot in the head on East Maxwell Street near UK's campus around 3 a.m. Police now say the shooting appears to be random, and they're asking anyone who may have been in the area to come forward with information. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is tracking the investigation in our top story at 5.
The shooting victim remains in critical condition at UK Hospital. Police say that he and a woman were walking along East Maxwell Street about 3 o'clock this morning when the man was shot in the head. Police say at this point they do not know who the shooter was. Police say a young man the victim likely did not know came up to him and the woman he was with. The 27-year-old man was shot in the head. Police believe there are additional witnesses given that it's a highly populated area and as many as 2 others that may have been close by when the shooting happened. They believe the shooter ran off toward the Linden Walk area.
We believe this is a random act that occurred in that area. We're putting forth our best effort. We're exhausting all our resources to put into that area to try and solve this crime.
Police say that they're not commenting on what may have been said before the shooting or what the motive is. Neighbors tell us that this act of violence is just another one in a number of shootings in that part of Lexington in recent months. More about that coming up at 6 o'clock. But for now in Lexington, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say they are stepping up patrols in the area of East Maxwell because of the shooting. We've learned one of the drivers in a bad crash this morning has died from his injuries. The Fayette County coroner says 86-year-old Charles Covington died from his injuries. Police say Covington was driving a silver station wagon that was turning left onto Pleasant Ridge when he hit another car. The driver of the white car was taken to UK Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A third car was also clipped in the crash. The driver of that car was not hurt.
Final farewells began today for boxing legend and Kentucky native Muhammad Ali. An Islamic prayer service was held at the Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville. The service was open to all, but was meant especially for Muslims to say goodbye to a man considered a hero of their faith. Our Victor Puente was there in Louisville.
This prayer service is part of Muslim tradition, asking for forgiveness and entry to heaven. Today was also a chance for people to pay their respects to one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. There were people lining up about an hour before the doors opened to get into Freedom Hall. The Janazah funeral prayer service is a Muslim tradition, but people of all faiths came to today's service. There were plenty of people from Louisville and Lexington. There are also people who had traveled around the world. A man from Bangladesh said he put off heart surgery in order to come to the service.
Because he is a part of my heart. He was my part of my heart.
Ali said the other Muhammad Ali had visited his country and his home in 1978, and he had the pictures to prove it. He said coming to say goodbye was worth the risk.
But if I die to visiting funeral, and if I die at the same time at my funeral with his funeral, I will be the luckiest.
Those paying their respects included Jesse Jackson, Don King, and Sugar Ray Leonard. Jackson said he felt it was important to be here in this time of anti-Muslim bashing. A speaker at the service said Ali's faith had helped their religion.
Ali did more to normalize Islam in this country than perhaps any other Muslim in the history of the United States.
Ali's family was also here today. In 1961, Ali fought his last fight in Louisville here at Freedom Hall. In Louisville, Victor Puente, WKYT.
A public memorial for Ali begins tomorrow afternoon in Louisville at 2. Tickets for that event, which were free, have all been claimed. We'll be streaming it live from the KFC Yum Center tomorrow on WKYT.com. We're also carrying it live right here on WKYT. That begins at 2 o'clock as well.
Well, it was certainly a little warmer today, and it's going to be getting hot this weekend. WKYT's meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to crank the heat up just a little bit, and we're also going to bring back chances of rain in here. Very small chances tomorrow, and then we'll have some more scattered through parts of your Sunday. But those are the chances that are coming back to the area. Out there right now, we're pretty quiet. It's really about the pleasant weather that we have currently in place because we're in the upper 70s, low 80s, all across central and into eastern Kentucky. Hard to find any cloud cover as well. You can't see there any there on our Defender radar network, which is thrown in with some clouds. Tracking some rain just up the road, and it will likely be that batch of rain that pays us a visit. What we have here is our high resolution model. Now watch what happens as we progress through time here. Notice the rain gets a little bit closer to us. Some of it starts to die out, but more builds behind it. And eventually what we'll see is that rain track into Kentucky as we get into your Friday. So that's our next best chance of something happening around here. And you can see plenty of it trying to grow there across parts of Illinois. Now, as far as the moisture in the air, check out what it's going to be doing to us. The muggy meter begins to really get impressive here going into Saturday and into your Sunday. So not only are we throwing in the fact that the heat is back, but also the humid conditions are going to be taking over once again. We'll take a closer look at all of this coming up for you in full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders flew to Washington, D.C. today for meetings with Democratic leaders to talk about the presidential election and how he fits in now that Hillary Clinton has locked up the Democratic nomination.
And shortly after their meeting, the president announced his endorsement for Hillary Clinton. Weijia Jiang is at the White House with the latest.
Bernie Sanders met with President Obama in the White House Thursday morning.
Let me begin by thanking President Obama.
The two talked about how to move forward on the issues Sanders has fought for throughout his campaign.
A handful of billionaires exercise enormous power over our political, economic, and media life.
President Obama praised Sanders during an appearance on Jimmy Fallon's show Wednesday night.
I thought that Bernie Sanders brought enormous energy and new ideas, and he pushed the party and challenged them.
But just after their meeting today, the president endorsed Hillary Clinton in a video.
Look, I know how hard this job can be. That's why I know Hillary will be so good at it. In fact, I don't think there's ever been someone so qualified to hold this office.
Clinton told Scott Pelley one of her immediate goals is to expand her base of support.
By reaching out to Senator Sanders supporters, to many others across our country, including, I hope, Republicans and independents.
Nearly 1 in 5 Sanders supporters say they will either vote for Trump or won't vote at all.
Mr. Trump, will you come talk to us?
Trump has meetings with big money donors to talk about a fundraising plan for the election. Through the end of April, Clinton has outraised Trump by more than $150 million. But Trump says he doesn't need to raise as much money because he gets so much free TV time in the media. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
As for Bernie Sanders, he is still campaigning for now. He has a rally planned in Washington, D.C. tonight. Democrats in the district go to the polls on Tuesday, and they are the last to vote in the nominating process.
The trial dates for 2 people charged in a 2015 murder have been set. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Clark County. Police say 25-year-old Roy Combs was found shot to death last year at an old rock quarry on Athens-Boonesboro Road in Clark County. Police arrested 4 people in connection to the murder. Kirk Garrett is charged with murder and attempted murder. His trial will begin in September of this year. Christy Mattingly is charged with complicity to commit murder. Her trial will begin in January of next year. A Jessamine County babysitter accused of abusing an infant has been indicted on multiple charges. Back in April, police say Erin Thompson was caring for 4-month-old Kylie Joe at her Jessamine County home when the child was injured. Someone called 911 and the baby was taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital, who called police. Kylie Joe was left with serious injuries, including a skull fracture, brain damage, and broken ribs. Thompson will be arraigned in the case later this month. In Madison County, 3 people have been arrested after a man was found unconscious in a vehicle. Deputies were called for a report of a man passed out in a car on Hager Drive. When 39-year-old Stanley Richardson showed the deputy his ID, a syringe fell out of his pocket. Deputies then searched the home and found multiple drugs and drug paraphernalia, as well as a large amount of cash. Richardson was arrested along with 43-year-old Roy Coffey and 36-year-old Tiffany McCormick. All 3 face multiple drug charges.
A federal appeals court ruled today that Americans do not have a constitutional right to carry concealed weapons in public. We'll have the details on that vote coming up in about 10 minutes.
And the popularity of bottled water is rising as carbonated drinks are falling out of favor. We'll have the details later in Better Living.
At Baptist Health, we want you to know the facts. Visit BaptistHealthTalks.com to view a video of neonatologist Tanya Reed and learn more about our new North Tower. Baptist Health Lexington. Be a healthier you.
Hey, how are you? Good.
Whoa, I just got your text.
Yeah, that says checkout is great.
With low prices and weekly deals, saving is so easy at Kroger. Come in and cross more off your list for less. Just look for the tags and save. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Days like this are getting harder to find. We're long on life, but short on time. When I get a chance to kick back and unwind, I live for Myrtle Beach days. Myrtle Beach days got blue in the sky, not a care in the air, ocean breeze blowing by, just sitting on the sand, soaking up the sunshine. I live for Myrtle Beach days. What's your RAV4 for?
It's for getting places you could never get to before. It's for going out on the town in style. It's for your honey-do list. It's for 34 mpg in the new RAV4 Hybrid. How far will you take it? The 2016 Toyota RAV4 with available all-wheel drive and more technology and safety features. Lease a RAV4 LE now for just $199 a month, or this RAV4 Hybrid for only $229 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
DQ funnel cake a la mode? Hold on.
The next hours. Cloudy tomorrow.
Funnel cake has a new home. The DQ Bakes new funnel cake a la mode with the world-famous DQ soft serve and your favorite topping. This is fan food, not fast food.
Funnel cake a la mode.
A fully stocked store to me is the most important thing because you have to have a good understanding of your store and your customers to really be able to know where everything is. You got to go on the journey together. It makes you feel good because you get close to these people and then they really do. They depend on you. They ask for you. It makes the customer's experience 100 times better. You learn things about people and it really does. It makes them come back because they genuinely appreciate you. I'm Craig and I work at the Charlestown Road Kroger.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on News Radio 630 WLAP. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Very pleasant day out there, but we're about to change things up where we can go from the nice, warm to the hot and steamy as we head into the weekend. Let's look at some of our weather headlines as we move forward. And as we look ahead here, we are talking about heat coming back to town. Heat index values likely, especially as we get into the weekend, probably fall 90, 95. It's not off the charts, but it's rather uncomfortable as well. And storm chances will also increase with this extra moisture hanging around with us. Out there today, we're at some pretty pleasant levels with those upper 70s and low 80s. It's 81 right now in Lexington. You work out into eastern Kentucky, find more of the upper 70s. Still very nice anywhere you go because the humidity is still down, running probably in the 30% range in most locations, 30 to probably about 35 in a lot of spots, and that is pretty dry. Hard to even find any cloud cover out there today on our Defender radar network, and of course the radar part of that's what's scanning for chances of showers and thunderstorms, and we don't have that either, at least in Kentucky. Now you look to the north along a boundary, we're tracking some rain, and of course all of that heat that is building into the nation's midsection really taking over, and it will start to ease in our general direction over the next few days. Tomorrow's going to be a day where we see our temperatures go up a little bit, and then we get into the weekend and they climb a few more degrees. General setup shows you the best pocket of heat in the more intense areas, showing up anywhere from the deep south into the plains, while we have a little bit of a storm track where a lot of the energy will likely try to spill over as we head into the weekend. Now, late weekend, what we'll see is a front dip into the area, and that's going to allow for a little bit of a cooler start to early next week. But it's widespread 90s possible through this weekend, with the heat index values jumping up because of that heat core really trying to push at least the outer edges into Kentucky. We're not going to be mid and upper 90s around here, but the heat index will certainly get close to those mid. We go hour by hour into the overnight early tomorrow morning. Notice the clouds start to thicken up, and we're tracking a batch of rain into northern Kentucky around 7 o'clock. That'll drop in a little bit more toward mid-morning, bringing us even a chance of a shower, maybe even a rumble of thunder as it passes through, but eventually it just dies out as we cross over into the afternoon and evening hours. We're at 2 o'clock. It's rained around here, and we're still at 83 degrees. And we keep going into the mid and upper 80s for daytime highs before it's all said and done. So that's when the warm stuff really starts to kick in around here. So I've got mid 70s early on Saturday morning as well. And here comes the real taste of it all, with the low 90s pushing into the area. Let me show you what we've got in our 7-day forecast, where we are, well, we're going to go right into traffic. How about that? That's what I wanted to do anyway. And we're talking about right here with some of the drive times out there for you. We're looking at from here to Nicholasville around 18 minutes, so about average. And on our traffic map, you can see no major issues, just the normal slow go and the normal old spots out there for us on this Thursday, guys.
Those aren't beads of sweat I see on your head yet, are they?
There will be plenty. And in my head, it's pretty easy to see them, right?
No, it looks good.
I hope so.
Thanks.
Still to come, a young couple coping with the loss of their 5-month-old child have found comfort through their son's final gift.
Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30, a young woman battling cerebral palsy received the surprise of a lifetime today. Mopeds are a fun way to travel, but are they safe? They don't require registration, insurance, or a helmet. WKYT takes a closer look at sharing the road with mopeds. Tonight at 6 on WKYT.
You know that old saying, there's 1,000 ways to slice a grape? Well, tell Arby's about the other 999, because we're still stuck doing it this way. Every morning hand slicing grapes just for one seasonal sandwich. If Arby's does all this work for just one sandwich ingredient, imagine what kind of effort we put into the rest of them. I mean, is somebody back there cracking pecans? Arby's, we have the meat.
Early mornings, long nights. Rain or shine, you keep going. Sometimes you feel like you'll never get there, but you keep putting one foot in front of the other because they need you to. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Every day, every dollar you've planned one step at a time. Well, with some really good help. It's for them. It's always been for them.
Trust our team to help you cross the finish line. Wealth South. Your race, our team.
Greatness isn't about creating one masterpiece and calling it a day. It's about challenging yourself to create a masterpiece every time. Come celebrate a half-century of innovations at the Kawasaki Golden Anniversary Sales Event. Save up to $2,500 plus 0% financing on select models at participating dealers. Visit Kawasaki.com to find a dealer near you.
Visit JVM Motorsports in Harrodsburg the weekend of June 11th to test drive a new Kawasaki.
Someone else can get them dressed. Someone else can push the swing. Someone else can fix their lunch. Someone else can tuck them in. But they don't want someone else. They want you. Get checked for breast and cervical cancer. For information on free screenings, call 1-844-249-0708.
Buying a new energy-efficient refrigerator or freezer? Well, get paid to upgrade. Let our Energy Star Appliance Rebate Program help you earn cash back on a range of Energy Star certified appliances. Just visit our website to see how to get paid to upgrade. South Kentucky RECC and Jackson Energy, your Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
When big news breaks, be the first to know. Download the WKYT News app and turn on push alerts. Breaking news at your fingertips when you need to know what's going on. Push alerts, now available on the WKYT News app. Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
In Israel today, a terrorist attack in the country's commercial capital has inflamed tensions between Israelis and Palestinians.
Police say that 2 Palestinian gunmen opened fire on people eating dinner and drinking coffee in a busy upscale market district on Tuesday. And the crowds ran for cover as police shot one suspect. Both men were arrested. Israel is now freezing Ramadan entry permits to 83,000 Palestinians. A federal appeals court says that people do not have a right to carry concealed weapons in public under the Second Amendment. An 11-judge panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals issued that ruling today. The panel says law enforcement officials can require applicants for a concealed weapons permit to show they are in immediate danger or otherwise have a good reason for a permit beyond self-defense. The decision overturned a 2014 ruling by a smaller 9th Circuit panel. The 9th Circuit's rulings are binding in 9 western states. It's a tragedy no parent should ever have to face. Their 5-month-old child taken from them way too soon.
But the young mother and father say their family has found comfort in their son's final gift that's helping others live. No parent should ever have to bury their child. But it's a reality Jennifer Gaines and Steve Travis had to face after losing their son, Kingsley.
Nanny's already putting all kinds of stuff out.
At just 5 months old, they say Kingsley had the ability to touch those around him in a special way.
Anybody went to it here with that bright, big old smile, and they loved him. And he loved everybody.
When Kingsley died, the two decided to donate his young organs. In turn, they were able to give 4 families the ultimate gift, the gift of life.
That's what gives us hope. I feel like I need to meet those babies and know he's the reason they're here. Well, him and God, of course. Because my son's okay. He's with God. We're just still praying for those babies to pull through.
Kingsley's heart, his kidneys, his liver, and intestines were given to children he'll never meet. For this, his father says he'll always remember him as a hero.
What he truly is. He's touched a lot of lives in the short time he was here. And now my baby's saving lives.
Such an inspiring story. Now, if you're interested in following in Kingsley's footsteps and giving the gift of life through organ donation, go to WKYT.com right now and click on this story to find out how.
It was day 4 of a Lexington murder trial today, and a key witness for the prosecution taking the stand this afternoon. We'll have details coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
A rare warning from the Inspector General from Health and Human Services about the recent FDA food recalls and which shows are most binge-worthy. We'll have these stories and more coming up in Better Living.
Who says mornings can't be happy? Not us. Introducing the DQ Hardest Working Happy Hour, with drinks that work even harder than you do, blending sweet flavors like never before. Only DQ has drinks that multitask in the morning even if you can't. Like $2 premium fruit smoothies, $2 ultimate frappes, and $1 iced coffees. Every weekday morning until 10:30 a.m. at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
Ready for summertime thrills? Kentucky Kingdom, the Thrill Park, Hurricane Bay, the Water Park. 2 great parks at one low price. Save $10 at your local Kroger. Day tickets only $39.95.
Bring home fresh Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts for just $1.79 a pound. And 16-ounce packages of strawberries are now 3 for $5 at Kroger.
When you're building your dream house, you want to make sure you're doing it right. It's a big job. But the Touchstone Energy Home Program can show you how to make your new place energy efficient, economical, and comfortable. We'll help you put together the home of your dreams while you save up to 30% in energy costs. You can even qualify for a rebate from your local energy cooperatives. It's easier than you think. So talk to us today about your dream home of tomorrow. Intercounty Energy, and Fleming Mason Energy, your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
The ultimate Red Tag event is back at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond. With Red Tag savings clearly posted on every new Buick. Choose from over 27 new Encores starting at $19,995 or $199 a month. Get a new Buick Verano as low as $19,650. A new Buick Regal for $216 a month. Or save $7,000 on a new Buick LaCrosse, now $27,995. Plus get the Adams Advantage, a limited lifetime powertrain warranty. The ultimate Red Tag event only at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond, where
Sid says sell them.
If you want to sell your house, you can call an ugly sign on the side of the road, or you can call a company with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. My name is Brian Evans, and I've been buying houses in Lexington for over 10 years. I can give you cash today. Call me at 859-278-HELP or go to 278help.com.
Where's the best place to buy a leather sectional?
A beautiful home begins at Burke.
Ooh, what about a recliner?
A beautiful home begins at Burke.
A motion sofa?
You know the deal.
A beautiful home begins at Burke.
I really love Burke Furniture. It's a great place to shop.
Burke's has the best selection on the best name brands in Lexington, like Braddington Young, Bernhardt, Southern Motion, and Broyhill, and prices that are even better. Plus, right now, interest-free financing is available.
A beautiful home begins at Burke's.
Here's a fun way to control your luck. It's a game called Keno. You can start with $1. You pick your numbers, your odds, and your wager. And the winnings, well, they could be major. Just pick your numbers and hope you win. A few minutes later, you can play it again. Now play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold.
Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. New concerns about the FDA's food recall process. CBS News has learned the Inspector General from Health and Human Services is issuing what is called a rare alert. It says the FDA's lack of effective recall procedures left some consumers at risk of illness or death. Anna Werner spoke with an investigator working on the audit.
I'm very concerned.
Auditors are reviewing 30 food recalls between October 2012 and May 2015, but in the alert lay out 2 cases where they say consumers remained at risk of illness or death for several weeks after FDA knew of potentially hazardous food. George Netter is leading the audit.
I think the time that these recalls took were problematic. Absolutely.
The alert says in a salmonella outbreak in 2014 linked to nut butter, investigators found it took 165 days from the date the problem product was identified to the date of the firm's voluntary recall. There were 14 illnesses in 11 states. During a listeria outbreak later that same year linked to cheese products, auditors determined a series of recalls took 81 days to complete. At least 9 people became ill, including an infant who died, and 2 pregnant women lost their fetuses.
If you're FDA and you know of, as you say, 8 people are already ill or have gotten ill over this, how many days would you expect? How many days would America expect them to take to figure out and get this product off the shelf?
I think that we have traditionally done a very good job.
The FDA's Dr. Stephen Ostroff defends the agency, saying thousands of recalls are handled successfully each year.
For us to be able to do the tracebacks and be able to identify how these all comes together takes a fair amount of time in some instances.
The FDA is already making changes in response to the Inspector General's probe, setting up a high-level internal review group that can push for quicker action on recalls when needed. Netter told us it's only the 3rd time he's aware of in 27 years where investigators felt the need to issue such an alert. Anna Werner, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
The Inspector General's in-depth look at how recalls were handled won't be finished until roughly next year, but investigators felt the issue was too urgent to wait and decided to issue the alert. The popularity of bottled water is rising as carbonated drinks are falling out of favor. A new report shows that the number of people drinking bottled water has grown 120% since 2000. Studies show growing concerns over the health impacts of high-sugar drinks. By early next year, Americans will officially drink more water than soda. Not all shows are created equal when it comes to binging. Netflix has a new binge scale that tracks which shows are most binge-watched. Shows like Sense8 and BBC America's Orphan Black are watched more quickly than shows with complex narratives like House of Cards. Now here's what's coming up at 5:30.